Stampin' friends, hi! I almost said happy Friday, but we are not on Friday. It's on Tuesday. We're doing my craft along with the spooky Halloween bundle and the really cute coordinating designer series paper. I am so excited to share with you this fun class to make 4 cute little Halloween projects. Actually, they're not little, they're quite a good size. So I'll share that with you in a moment. As you hop on, say hello. Let me know who is joining me. If you purchase the Craft Along kit from me, let me see. Let me show it to you because I actually have one left over. So if you purchase the Craft Along kit from me, you have your consumable supplies. Sorry, I'm just switching over so I can see the chat to be able to do the projects. Now, I did email you a craft or a prepping guideline. So hopefully you got that prepping guideline and were able to do some stamping and some die cutting ahead of time so that you could be ready for today's craft along. Now, if you have not done that, don't panic, don't worry, hang tight, put what you can together, and then you can go back and add those elements later. If you need more time to put the projects together, you can always come back, watch the replay. All right. Hello. I see several of you already hopping on. Hey, Barbara, Melanie, Paula, Noreen, and Gretchen. Welcome, friends. All right. So before I get into today's projects, I should say, I wanted to share with you, I don't think I've ever been more excited about a Stampin' Up! Promotion as I am about the starter kit promotion that's starting tomorrow. Stampin' Up! Is doing this promotion where you can get the starter kit. There's actually 2 options, but I'm going to share with you my favorite option, where you can get $125 in products that you choose for $35. I'm like, mind is blown. I've already had people reaching out to me saying, hey, I want in on that promotion. And I'm like, yeah, you do. I mean, it's just too good of a deal to pass up. So check it out. Whether you want to just join and get that discount and to shop at a discount, or if you want to share Stampin' Up! With others, it's totally up to you how you want to do what you want to do with it. But everyone's welcome to join, and I want you to know that. And I would absolutely love for you to join my Simply Sweet Stampers team. So make sure tomorrow, if you are not already a demonstrator, that you take advantage of that promotion. And it runs from tomorrow, October 1st through October 31st, 2025. All right. Hello, Susan and Crystal. Welcome. All right. So I'm going to turn my camera down and share with you the projects that we're making today. And stay tuned because I actually have, October's craft along projects. I'll show you those projects as well. Let me grab this. This was the prepping guideline I sent to you for those who purchased the pre-cut project packet. So hopefully you had a chance to do a little bit of prep work ahead of time. If you did not purchase the project kit, I do have the tutorial available for sale in my PDF store. You can always just go to my blog at simplysweetinkdesigns.com. There is a PDF store tab that you can click on and you can find it there. All right. That way you don't have to worry about trying to remember all these measurements. I will provide you some quick measurements, but if you want the pretty printable project or the tutorial, I have it in my PDF store for you. All right, so these are the 4 projects that we're going to make, and as you see, they are a nice size treat boxes. This one opens from the back, and then we also do have this one, and then we have this one with a little clip. Okay, so we're going to actually build in complexity. We're going to start with the simple box. Then we're going to move on to a simple box where we add a little bit more. Then we're going to go to this box with the little, with the flap. And then we're going to go to this one. So it kind of builds. All right, so let's go ahead and let's get started. Going to move these out of the way. Now I am using the Spooky Halloween bundle. Adorable little bundle with cute little pet images. And I did borrow some elements from the Fright Night, more specifically the dies, because I love this die set. I just think it coordinates beautifully with the Spooky Halloween bundle. You got some really nice labels and some other little Halloween type dies there that you can add to your Halloween projects. All right, so let me get my supplies in place. Here is the quick reference measurements for you for this first box. It's called No Tricks, All Treats. Then what we're going to do is we are going to start off with a piece of basic black cardstock. And I need to burnish this so I can see my lines a little bit better. Now I'm going to pull out my scoreboard for the more complex projects, but these two, the first two, are really easy. And so I'll just tell you what those measurements were, because it's really super simple to do these boxes. Okay, so let me get oriented correctly here. So I have a piece of basic black cardstock that measures 8 by 8.5. And on the short side, which is my 8-inch side, I'm just going to double check this. These measurements are so similar, I better just double check. Yes, this is my 8-inch side. You're going to have a score line at 1.5 and again at 6.5 inches. Right there, first measurement. Then we rotate the cardstock, and on the 8.5-inch side, we have it at 3.5 and 5 inches. So that is going to be the base for our box. Then what we're going to do is along the side here, I want to cut for my tabs, so I'm just going to cut up these score lines. And turn it around. The same thing on the other side. Okay. So what we're going to do is we got our tabs right here. I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive, put it on that tab. Actually, you know what? Before I get started, let's take a moment here. Let's kind of pause. Let me wipe this off real quick, because I think there's a better way to do it. When you can, and you remember, I don't always remember. Sometimes I get ahead of myself and I put my box together, then I add all the designer series paper. How about we kind of pause here a moment? Let's put our designer series paper pieces on to the front. That way it'll already be there when we go to put the box together. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump down to these designer series paper layers. I have one that is the orange print from the Spooky Sweet designer series paper. It's got the little critters on the back. This measures, it is over here, 3 3/8 by 4 7/8. That is going to get glued down right here on the front. And then I took another piece of the designer series paper. Now this is the pattern that has the little spooky windows on the back. I'm just taking that orange and white print, and this piece measures, let's see, where am I at? The white orange print is 3 by 4.5. It's going to get glued down here, and then we're going to keep building here. Then we have this, which is actually, let me see if I can show you. It's actually part of this print where you have all these tags. I did pull several pieces for the treat boxes that we're making today from this pattern, but on the back it's just gray. All right, so I am going to take this banner right here, and I am going to I just cut out the banner straight from the designer series paper, and I am going to angle cut it, make it into a banner. And then that is going to get glued right there. Actually, I'm going to cut it a little bit more so it has a little bit more of a point. All right, so that's going to go there. Then I have this. This is just one of those tag labels that you can use. Now, the key thing about this is you want to take this skeleton or the skull, and you want that skull to go to the right side, because we're going to cover it up with our cute little Franken puppy here in a little bit. All right, there is one other thing that we need to do to have ready, and that is actually two more. I take that back, forgot. We have two pieces of designer series paper that are candy print. They're kind of the black and the orange on the reverse. Those are going to be our side pieces here for each side of our box. And those two pieces measure 1 3/8 by 3 3/8. So before I glue everything down, there is one other little element that I want to tuck in behind, and that is one of the die cuts from the Spooky Halloween bundle. Now, this is a really cute little bat die. don't know if you can see it. And what you can do is you can actually, if you carefully, there is a score line just at the base of the bat that you can fold down. I didn't say it was easy, but you can do it. You can fold it down and you can create, I'm just going to show you here on this piece of paper. You can create like a little book tab right there. Something cute like that. What I'm going to do is I am going to have it, I'm actually going to snip off right here. I'm going to snip off because I really don't need that section because that's not what I'm using it for. I'm just using it as an accent. So I just want to show you though, how if you want to have a cute little spooky bat for a book tab, that would be a fun way to do it. So I'm just going to get rid of that section there, that fold over part. All right, now we can start gluing. So we are going to go ahead and glue our first two pieces, which are the orange print and the white print. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue these down. I'm kind of following, making sure I don't jump ahead because there are layers that build on top of each other. And I want to make sure I go in the correct order. So it is safe to say you can do your white and your orange layers together. Put those down onto the front of your box. Okay, then what we're going to do, let me see. Then we're going to add our cute little bat here. I'm going to have him about right here. And then I'm going to position, because this is going to get centered. Nope, 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 not yet, not yet. Then we're going to have this piece. Then we're going to have this piece. So I'm trying to see where I want to position it. Okay, so I'm going to take my bat, a little bit of glue. And I would say he just kind of barely goes over the top here, just a little bit into the orange section. Then I'm going to take the banner. And it's going to go all the way across the middle. And I want to say it goes all the way to the edge of the box. So I have it go all the way to the very left edge. If you want it to go to the edge of the designer series paper, that's okay. I just wanted a little bit more of my paper over here to show on the right. Then now, we need to stamp this first. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and add on my side pieces. So let's add the candy pieces onto the side. Now, there are bats in this particular print. So make sure that you have your designer series paper positioned in the correct way so that they're not flying upside down. So then we're going to add this on each side. Okay, there we are. Okay, so are we good? All right. Hi, Margot. Hey, Katie. Hello, guys. More of you joining me. Thank you. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to kind of set this aside. Let's work on our stamping. We're going to take the sentiment, no tricks, all treats, and we're going to stamp directly on the label in Memento black ink. Now I'm going to stamp, it's actually in the middle, actually. We're going to just stamp right in the middle. And then we are going to glue this on into the middle. And then we're going to start adding all of our cute little elements. I am going to do just a little bit of stamping and coloring for you today. But if you've already prepped it ahead of time, you were ahead of the game. There we go, guys, right there. Okay, let's go ahead. Let's set this aside, let it dry, and then we are going to work on our cute little Frankenpuppy. Now to do that, I'm going to take a piece of thick basic white cardstock. I'm going to take my Franken puppy and I'm going to stamp him in Memento black ink. And I also, too, I have little jack-o'-lantern that he's holding. So I'm going to grab that. Let's stamp that as well. Okay, so to color, I am going to use, let's start off with, this is Smoky Slate Stampin' Blends. I am going to take the dark one and I'm going to do just a little bit of shading. I think I'm going to color his ears. I'm going to color them dark. Let's see, let's do his little eye patch there. And then a little bit of shading. A little bit at the top. All right, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to color in with the light Smoky Slate. Actually, I can use the brush tip. Let's do that, brush tip. Uh-oh, looks like I have both dark. I must have grabbed the wrong one, or did I switch them? Oh, shoot, I think I grabbed both dark. Oh, well, he's going to be dark. That's okay. I'll just kind of gently try to do it lightly. Okay. All right, then do his little paws. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I am going to come in and I'm going to take my Granny Apple Green Stampin' Blends and I'm going to take and I am going to do dark accents on his shirt. And let's do a little bit underneath his shorts, make his socks, give him a little band of the green there. And then I'm going to come back in with the light and just fill everything in. Okay, and then I'm going to add a little bit of pumpkin pie blends and I'm going to color in his shorts again, just a little bit of accenting, shadowing. Let's see, let's do his pump again while I'm here. His little nuts or his bolt right here on the side. Gonna go ahead and color that in with some pumpkin pie. And then I'm gonna finish him up by coloring his lollipop in Petunia Pop. And I'm just gonna use the light Petunia Pop Stampin' Blends and just color in his lollipop here. The dark is really dark, so I'm gonna use light on this lollipop. All right, so then what we would do is we would take the dies and we would die cut each of those out. Hopefully you already had a chance to do that. So you take that, run it through your embossing machine or your Stampin' Cut Emboss machine. And I've already done that, and thankfully I did it ahead of time because I didn't realize I was gonna mess up all my little Franken puppy. So I have these already cut, die cut out. And then also too is I grabbed from the designer series paper, there is a whole sheet that has some little laser cuts that you can pop out. Really, really cool. What you do is they're just Literally, they just pop out. They're super, super easy to disconnect. So you got 2 pages that have the same images on it. So you've got lots and lots of fun options there. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to put our box together and we're going to add our elements. So now what we're going to do is let's go on ahead, glue our box together now that our glue is all set up. The nice thing too about having these designer series paper pieces on beforehand is I can tell what part I need to go to the back and what part I needed to go to the front. So I'm going to glue my back long sections to my tabs. And then I'm going to take my sections that have designer series paper on them and I am going to add glue. You can use tear and tape if you would like to do that, or if you have the Seal Plus tape, you can do that as well. I just like my multi-purpose liquid glue. So now we're going to adhere these designer series paper sides to the back sides. Let's see, here it is. All right, so nice, really nice size box. Then we're going to use some dimensionals, pop up our little Franken puppy, and I'm using black dimensionals. I always forget that we have them, and they're so cool. They're really great when you're doing darker images or Halloween type images. And the trick is we're going to let our Franken puppy hide that skull right there. And then we're going to put a mini black dimensional and pop up his little jack-o'-lantern and make it look like he's holding it in his hand. So I'm going to just sneak this right behind his paw here and make it look like he's holding it right there. Okay. Then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to glue on these cute little candy corn pieces. This is from the designer series paper laser cut. And let's see, we're going to have one going this way. And then I have another one going the other way. Oops. All right. Okay. So I am going to bling it up a little bit. And to do that, I'm going to take these cute little foam shimmer stickers or stars. And I am going to use the Petunia Pop ones. And then I'm going to come back in and I'm going to add some really cute, it's not cute, it's really cool ribbon. I really love this twine. What is this called? This is called the black and white and gold baker's twine. You have one spool that is white and gold. Then you have another one that is black and gold. I like to put them together. I think the combination has a really cool effect. So I'm just going to make a double bow with these two pieces here, two colors. And then I'm just going to add this on with a mini glue dot. And then that will complete our first box. Let's put that right here. There we go, guys. Oops, did I not grab that? I did not grab the glue dot. Let's try that again. There we go. All right, so that is our first treat box. I'm going to take a moment, clean up, give you a few minutes to catch up if you are crafting along with me. And then we'll work on the second box, all right? Does anybody have any questions so far? Okay, now I am going to remove this. This was the quick reference measurements for this first treat box. I'm going to put in the next one, which is going to be for our haunted house treat box. Right there. Let me put it right there. And those are the quick reference measurements that we're going to use for that box. All right, so this one is going to be very, very similar as far as the base of our box. It is a little bit different size, as you can tell. It is the same height, but it's not quite as wide. And so what I did though is I used the Everyday Arches dies to kind of create a backdrop so it looks like a tombstone, and then we're going to decorate up the front, kind of give it a spooky look. All right, are we ready for project number 2? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. I will bring these back at the end, share them with you, but for now I'm going to make some space, and let's work with project number 2 for our haunted house treat box. Now, again, this is a very easy base box, so I'm not going to go through the scoreboard. The next 2 projects I will, though. So we're taking a piece of, I think this is gray granite. Let me see, where's my tutorial? Not yet have I been able to recognize gray granite and smoky slate. It is, what color is this? It is gray granite. No, that's the fence. Smoky slate. So smoky slate. This is going to be a piece of smoky slate at 6 3/4 by 8 1/2, and it is scored. I'm going to burnish my score lines so they're easier for you to see. Along the short side, it is scored at 1 1/2 and 5 1/4. Then we rotate it, and the long side is scored at 3 1/2 and again at 5. Sounds like similar measurements, right, to the first box. We're just kind of building, changing it up a little bit. All right, again, same thing. We're going to cut our tabs along the score lines. Turn it around. Let's do the same thing. Okay, now for this one, we're going to do just a little bit of designer series paper. So we are going to take, and I think this is probably the largest arch die in the Everyday Arches. It measures roughly 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. It may be the largest. And then if not, it's very, very close. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take this piece of the black or the gray designer series paper. Now on the back, it is one of your tag labels. So when you are cutting that sheet with all your tag labels, make sure you're cutting a part that you don't plan on using for something else. So this piece measures, the gray print is 3 1/4 by 3 7/8, and we're just going to glue it at the bottom of the Everyday Arch piece. Hello, Nathan. How are you, my stamping buddy? Okay, let's go ahead at the very bottom here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take and we're going to glue it to the front here. And to do that, I am just going to put all kinds of glue right here on my top panel. And then I'm going to line up the bottom of my arch with the bottom of this top score line here. And then side to side. It may overlap just a hair, and that's okay. It can do that. It is. It's overlapping just a little bit. But when we put our box together, you're not going to really notice that. All right. That looks good. The next one I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2 pieces of the orange print, and each of these measures 1 3/8 by 3 3/8, and they're going to get glued on the sides. There we go. All right. So what we're going to do next is we're going to go ahead and put our box together. And to do that, we're going to do just like we did with the other box. We're going to add some glue on the tabs. And we're going to attach the long back section to our tab on each side. And then we're going to add glue to our designer series paper pieces, and then we're going to adhere it to our side panels over here. Okay, I'm going to take that, and then we're going to glue those on each side. I come in here with my bone folder, press down a little bit, get all those corners to adhere, and then there we go. So as you can see, it overlaps just a hair on my arch, but it's close enough. And then now what we're going to do is we're going to decorate everything up. Now for this, it was a lot of prep die cutting ahead of time. Some of the pieces were provided for you if you purchased the kit. Others you needed to do on your own. Now 2 of the pieces I provided in the kit were this Daffodil Delight circle, and it measures roughly 2.5 inches in diameter. And then I die cut out from the Fright Night die set of the little boo in pumpkin pie. Now I did do it on a sticker sheet for you to make it easier for you. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take that paper backing off. Then we're going to angle this and just glue it right here at the top at an angle. I want to leave plenty of room for my tree. Then I am going to pop up the circle with dimensionals. And I am just going to have it go right here in the bottom corner, bottom left corner. And then let's take the haunted house. This is die cut from the Spooky Halloween bundle in basic black cardstock. And so I'm just going to glue it flat onto my circle. And I'm going to have it go just slightly to the left of the circle because I need to allow room for my tree to come in. And then I'm going to take, and this is also die cut out. Now this one was done in gray granite cardstock. You can totally do it in the same smoky slate if you would like to. Or was that reversed? Oh, I told you I cannot tell the difference between those two. Let's see. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, smoky slate is this, and this is gray granite. The reason I chose to do it just slightly different is so it has just a tinge of contrast to it. Otherwise, I felt like it would blend in. It's very, very, can you see why I have trouble recognizing them? They're so similar. I kind of consider this more of a road kind of color, I guess, cement color. So we're just going to glue this right across our haunted house. Does anybody else struggle telling the difference between these two grays? Because I have 18 years. I don't know if these colors have been along that long, but I think for as long as I can remember, I am always having to grab them and compare them to each other to be able to tell the difference. But when you put them next to each other, you're like, oh yeah, I see the difference now. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead. Let's glue this on just towards the bottom of our circle here. And then I popped out the laser cuts from the designer series paper, the really large tree. And then I also drew this cute set of pumpkins with the crow on top. And so I am going to just adhere this with dimensionals. You want to pop that up just a little bit differently. And let's see, some of it's going to hang over, so I don't need dimensionals on the part that hangs over. All right, let's see. I'm going to kind of sneak this under my house just a little bit. Luckily, it's still pliable or movable. Do that. And then I'm going to just add on my crow right next to it. Now, I'm going to help stabilize my crow just a little bit in sections in between. And then I'm just going to glue them just across. Because it is sitting on a popped up piece, and I think that will help stabilize it. So there we go. All right, so we have that. And then we're going to come in, and you're going to want to have die cut out 2 of the bats with the Spooky Halloween bundle in basic black cardstock. And we're going to take our mini dimensionals and just have them flying in our tree. This is where black mini dimensionals are your friend, because they are hanging over just a hair, but because they're black on black, it's not, you can't really see them very well. All right, so let's have one going this way. We'll have the other one flying the other way. Okay, so let's have it going this way. Okay. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with my stars, and I'm going to bling it up, and I'm just going to have it look like we've got some little sparkles in the tree. And you can just put these randomly wherever you like. There we go. All right. Now, what I did for my sample here is I did use the iridescent treat bags. I just added some candies in there. Look at that. Look at that really cute reflective service here. And I just tied it off with the twine, that gold and black and white twine, just to finish it off to add a cute little treat. Thank you, Tanya. Tanya says yes. She says those grays are hard to tell apart. They are. They're very hard to tell apart. All right, so this is project number 2. I'm going to do a little bit of cleaning up. Oh, Nathan too? I know, right? Those colors are so hard. Okay, so I'm going to clean up a little bit, give you a few minutes, catch up. We have done 2 projects so far. If you're just hopping on, we have done this first treat box, just a really simple, basic box. We stepped up from that, still a basic box, but we added a really cute background to make it look like a tombstone with some little spooky elements on top. And then we're going to build up to the next box, which is going to be the one where we have an actual flap. All right, so give me a moment and I will come back and we will work on all of that. Again, if you have any questions, please reach out, let me know, and I will be happy to answer them. If I need to go back and review something, let me know that as well. Okay, so I am going to switch out the instructions here. And we're going to do what I call the Witch Kitty Treat Box. And this one, there is a little bit of stamping, but not much. Well, no, I take that back. There is stamping on this one. This is the one where we stamp the cute little kitty. All right. That, actually, I'm going to put it right here so I don't forget to show you later. Put that one up. This is going to be our 3rd project that we're going to make. Again, a very nice size box. It is kind of it's a little bit shorter than this one. It's still the same height. not quite as wide as this one. Okay, so it's kind of an in-between size here. Now to do this one, this is where I'm going to bring in my scoreboard. All right. So for this, we are going to take, this is a large piece of 7.5 by 11-inch thick basic white cardstock. And let me make some room for my scoreboard here. I will try my very best to show. Oh, it's going to be difficult. Okay. A little bit challenging, but I will do my best. Maybe we can see it that way. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to lay the short side at the top. Then we're going to score at 1.5 and 6 inches. So we have 1.5. And then over here it's 6 inches. Now to help me delineate between the two, what I have done is I have my short measurement score lines in the gray markers, and then my long measurement score lines are the ones that are in the light blue markers. So I'm going to rotate, and on the 11-inch side, show you my measurements. We're going to score, ooh, wrong one. I had it backwards. Okay, because we have the flap that goes over. So we have it 3.5 at 5, and then again at 8.5, and then again at 10. So 3.5 at 5, 8.5, and then again at 10 inches. Now I am going to grab here. And this is basically what our goal is to get to. So very careful before you do any cutting. There is a little bit different way I want you to cut this particular box, all right? So first, let's burnish our score lines. Hello, Kelly. Yes, come back and watch whenever you have more time. You can go back and catch up on the other two projects. Okay, so I've got all my score lines burnished. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to start from the top. This is the one that has that 2 score lines that are close together. And that is going to actually be this little flap that folds over. Okay, so let's start there. And what we're going to do is we are going to cut up the score lines. We're going to start at the top. A lot of times when we're doing a box, or when I do a box, I start from the side for my tabs, but not this time. I want to start from the top. Let me make double sure. I have got to make sure. Yes. Okay, I got it. Do I have it? Yes, I do. Okay. I got to trust my template. Trust the template, Deborah. There you go. So we're going to cut up that from the top. And then only on these 2 flaps, what you're going to do is you're going to cut off that excess. You're going to want to leave this long one. But on the 2 short ones, go ahead and cut that flap, or cut that little 1/2 inch or 1 inch section off. And we're going to do a little bit of mitering. Okay, now I'm going to miter the flap. This is the part right here. And I'm going to do a little bit of mitering. Try not to over miter, or else it won't stick in your box very well. So I'm just going to barely do a little bit of mitering. I can always come back in if I need to and add more. But I'm just going to angle that just a little bit, okay? Now that we've done this, done the part that's going to be the part that folds inside, then now we're going to do the side tabs. So go on ahead, rotate your cardstock, and right here where you have these 2 score lines, you're going to just cut up like you did the other 2 boxes and make your tabs. We'll turn it around. Let's do the same thing. And then in a moment, I will show you my completed template. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Got those tabs at the top. You got the tabs here in the middle, okay? Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna add our cute pieces. So this is our designer series paper. And we're gonna take the print. And again, it's gonna be similar to the first box we did where we're gonna layer them in a certain order. So on the section that has your flap right here, you're gonna take the purple piece or petunia pop. Now this is one, let me show you this particular print. This is one of the pattern prints that comes in the designer series paper pack. On the reverse is where you find your petunia pop pattern here. So when you are cutting, you want to make sure that you cut a pattern that you're not going to be heartbroken that you cut into. So I just picked one that I probably wasn't going to use, and that is the section of the designer series paper that I cut out. So this piece measures 3 3/8 by 4 3/8, and it's going to go right here on the front of my box. Then I'm going to take 2 side sections, kind of like on that first box we did, and they are going to go on the sides here, and each of these measures 1 3/8 by 3 3/8. Then I have another section. This is going to go on the lid of my box right there at the very top. And this is 1 3/8 by 4 3/8. I do want you to take just a quick note of the direction of the bats. If you notice the bats, these two are vertical and this section goes horizontally. So it looks like they're all flying in the correct direction, okay? Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take, I'm just showing you before we glue it all down. This is die cut. This is the largest label die from the Fright Night dies. I die cut it out in basic black cardstock. If you got the kit, this was included in your kit for you. And it's going to get glued down flat this way. Then we're going to take one of those other tag labels. Again, it's gray on the back, and then you've got different patterns, tags on the front. And this is actually just going to go vertically, just because I wanted to add a little bit of color to the green color to kind of match the cauldron there. So that's just a little accent color there. All right, and then the rest we'll come back and do in a moment. So let's get this down, and then we'll work from there. Okay, almost done. This is going to go flat, the black part. I'm just going to have it go all the way across. Then this is going to go just up and down. And I think it goes from seam to seam. From score line to score line, right there, okay? All right, now one other thing, and it's totally optional, and what I did for mine is I went on ahead and on the back side, so when I fold this, fold my box, let's go ahead and just do a rough fold here. When I fold it, see how these side tabs are gonna fold in, right? And then this is gonna fold to the back to be able to close the box. Now, what I find helpful is to have a little finger tab. That makes it a little bit easier for your recipient to be able to get their finger in there or their thumb and to be able to open the box. So before I glue these pieces down, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to take a circle punch. I'm using 1 3/4. Really, you can use any size that you want. You can use a little 1-inch one if you want. And I'm just going to do a very small little finger hold right there. Now I'm going to go on ahead and I can glue my tabs together like I've been doing for the other 2 boxes. We have that so far, and then we're going to add glue only on the designer series part of these long sections. These are our tabs that are going to fold into the box, so no glue on these tabs, just on the designer series paper part. That's going to be the part that adheres and closes, or adheres to the sides to form your box. I think I'm going to do one at a time. There we go. We've got our box. It's all formed nicely. Then what we could do is we could insert our treats, and then we can fold in those top tabs. And the reason I like having it this way is it kind of keeps your box from your lid from collapsing inside. It kind of gives it that stop point. That's why I chose to have it go on the side like this. And then you can close your box. And again, just a little bit of mitering. You can always come back, miter a little bit more if you want to. And there you go. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of stamping, add some of the really cute designer series paper, and we'll have our 3rd box done. Okay. So to do our little kitty here, we're going to stamp in Memento black ink. Now, a little bit of a tip, if you stamp in your Memento black ink and you have just a little section, like you can see right there, it didn't quite capture the ink. What I like to do is I like to take the light version that's very similar to the color I'm using in my Stampin' Blends. In this case, oh, and I don't have the light. It's in my shelf, isn't it? That's all right. We'll use the dark. It's totally fine. But if you have the light, use the light and just very lightly dab it, just to fill in those spots so that it looks like you fully stamped the image here. There we go. All right. So, well, while I have this out, I'm going to go on ahead and I'm going to color in her little paw here, or her little feet. And then we're going to take some Daffodil Delight Stampin' Blends. And I'm going to take the dark one. I'm going to outline her ears. And her nose. And this is in the dark Daffodil Delight. Do her hands and her tail. And then I'm going to come in and I'm just going to add a few little accent lines here where there might be some shadowing. And then I'm just going to do a quick here across and just color in the rest. All right, now what I want to do is I'm going to drag some of that dark in to the center just to kind of blend it in, give it a nice shadowing without it being like really noticeable. Okay, so then we're going to come in with some Petunia Pop blends. Same thing, we're going to do her top of her little outfit here. And let's go ahead, give her some stripes on her socks. And then I'm going to come back in and I'm going to finish it up with the light Petunia Pop. Okay, and I'm going to do Granny Apple Green for the skirt of her costume. All right, so now that everything is already stamped and colored, I've already die cut it out. I'm just going to take the die from your bundle. You've got a cute little die there that cuts her out. And then there you go. So I have this already die cut out. Now, while I'm doing some stamping, I'm going to go ahead and do my sentiment, which I'm going to put on the top. That says, "Don't worry, eat sweets." Going to take, and now this is die cut from the Textured Labels dies, and it's like a really long one, but if you don't have those dies, you can just cut a little rectangle here, and this rectangle measures roughly about 1/2 of an inch by 3.5 inches. And then you're going to just stamp your sentiment across in Memento Black. All right, and then what we're going to do is we're just going to decorate everything up. We're going to add our little kitty, add her on with some dimensionals. And so she is going to go here on the left. And I did allow a little bit of space because then we are going to add in some of the laser cuts from the designer series paper. These you just pop out of your designer series paper. And this is going to be, let's see, the cauldron will go next. I put this pretty far down. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the broom and I am going to add dimensionals, I should say, maybe a mini. Let's bring in a mini dimensional here. And I'm not going to worry about the handle of the broom. I'm just going to worry about the bristles. And I am just going to slide that in so it looks like she is holding the broom. And I'm going to angle right across my box there. Then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add in some little mini dimensionals right here, just inside the cauldron, just right where the handles are, just above it, the pot here. And so I'm going to take my mini dimensionals, and then what I'll do is I'll take those bubbles, and I'm just going to put it right there on top. Okay. Then we're going to come in, we're going to do some of our embellishment, bling this up. I'm going to take another of that twine, double it up, and make a bow. And let's go on ahead, put it on with a mini glue dot. And I'm just going to have it go right there in the corner. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use white stars this time. And I have dimensional backings everywhere. I'm going to have to take a moment here and clean up. It is starting to really interfere with my space here. Excuse me. All right, guys. So this is project number 3. This is our 3rd box for today. Do I have the order number for the twine? I do, actually. That is It's in the tutorial. Let's see. It is the 166005. Got it? 166005. That's that twine. I didn't check to see if it's in stock. I think it is still in stock. I see, Tanya, you like the designer series paper? I do too. I love the colors. I love traditional like black and orange, but I love it when Stampin' Up throws in like the greens and the purples. I think those are such awesome Halloween colors. All right, so let me take a moment, clear my space here, and then we're going to start on the last project for today. And then after that, I will share with you October's craft along projects. While I am cleaning up, comment here in the chat, what do you do for Halloween? Do you go trick-or-treating? Do you like stay home and hand out candy? Do you have little ones that you trick-or-treat with? I would love to know what your Halloween plans are for this year. I am in a new neighborhood and I don't know yet whether they do trick-or-treating around here. So I don't know whether to buy candy or not. So we will probably see this year, because our neighborhood, it's a bigger neighborhood. Houses are a little bit further between. So I don't know. We will find out. All right. You hand out, Noreen hands out candy. Awesome. Do you get a lot of trick-or-treaters in your neighborhood? In our old neighborhood, we would get, I don't know, maybe about 50 kids would come by. We were right at a corner, like near the front of the neighborhood. So we did tend to get a pretty fair amount of trick-or-treaters. Kind of died down over the years as the neighborhood kids got older. All right. Okay, Tanya goes to the grandkids while they trick or treat. Okay, stay home. Okay, all right. Yeah, we used to take our kids. We would like team up with like another mom and their kids, and we would walk around together, and it was a lot of fun. You know, kids dressed up and stuff. All right, so we're gonna do box number 4. This one is probably our most complex box, but really it's not too bad. There's just a little section that we were cut out. I do have in here, just to give you an idea of the size, it is quite a nice size box. A friend of mine sells Mary Kay, and it fits the Mint Bliss size lotion. And so just to give you an idea, so it is roughly, and I'll show you the measurement too. Of course, if you're making the project, you're going to get to see for yourself. All right. So this measures roughly, what do we have? 2.5 by about 5 inches. And then you got a little bit of clearance there, probably another inch or so. So a really nice tall box. Okay, so I'm going to move this. I'll bring it out later at the end. Let's go ahead. Let's get the last project, quick reference for you here. I'll put that right there. That will be our last measurements for today. I'm going to have to move my camera. There we go. All right. So for this box, I'm going to go ahead and real quick set up my scoreboard. Give y'all just a couple of minutes here because we actually, the measurements is an 8.5 by 8.5. So we have side 1 and side 2. So I'm going to take for side 1, 2.5. Let's go to 4. I love my scoreboard. I just use it all of the time. It is so great when I can set up these measurements and then just score multiples. And then we have 8. One more here at 8. Okay, so we have 2.5, 4, 6.5, and 8. Then side 2 is going to be 1.5. And then it looks like we repeat the last 2 measurements here. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of those. Okay, so we'll have 1.5, and we'll have 6.5 and 8. All right, perfect. Okay, so this one's going to take an 8.5 by 8.5 piece of Petunia Pop Designer Series paper. And what we're going to do is we're going to take one of the sides. It's 8.5 by 8.5. So just pick a side, and then whatever side that is, side one, put at the top, and then you're going to score. And remember, these are my side one, so it's going to be 2.5, 4, 6.5, and 8. Now I've already scored these because I didn't want to mess it up. Then I'm going to rotate it, and my next score lines are going to be at 1.5. We're going to move back over here. We're going to repeat 6.5 again, and then we're going to repeat 8. Again, let's burnish all our score lines. Don't really have a good spot. Maybe right there at an angle. There we go. So I'm going to take and I am going to burnish my score lines here real quick so we get a better view of what they look like. Now this part right here, the little 1/2 inch section, I'm going to actually fold it back just a little bit. Okay. I don't know why I burnished it that way. Okay. Now I have all my score lines. They're nice and pliable. Let me take a quick look here at my template. Now this is the goal. This is what we're looking to get to. So as you can see here on the right, I have my little 1/2 inch section. So you want to make sure that you have this oriented where you have the 1/2 inch section at the top, and then you have the 1/2 inch little strip on the right. Then you will know which sections to cut out. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mark these out so they're a little bit easier to see because we want to make sure we take out the correct ones. So we're going to take out that section and we're going to take out that section. Okay. And actually, you know what? You're going to also we're going to take out this section as well. And we're going to take out this section as well. Help you out. All right. So you want to take out those sections that I showed right here on the template. So let's go ahead. We're going to start at the bottom. This little 1/2 inch section, let's just cut it off. I'm going to angle cut here on my 1/2 inch. Then I'm going to go to the top and I'm just going to cut away this whole section here. I don't need any of that. And I'm just going to do a little bit of angle cut right there. So that's what it looks like so far. Now the tricky part is just getting that section out right there. So we're going to take it, just cut up the score lines. And then I like to kind of fold my larger sections away that I'm keeping because I don't want to accidentally cut them. And then I'm going to cut across right here. Okay, so that is what we have right there. Okay, that's really probably the trickiest part is getting that one section out. Then what you're going to do is you're just going to cut up the score lines like you would just a regular box. Okay, now here, where you have these two sections, follow them all the way down. So you've got longer sections here, then you have shorter sections here. If you're going to miter them, only miter these two smaller tabs. Leave the other one straight. Nathan, you're going to color your kitty green. All right, you got to send me a picture of that when you're done. All right, there we go. There's our template. So now we can start adding our designer series paper. And I'm going to follow my little guide here. So here's my template. It shows all my designer series paper layout. So what we're going to do is we're going to take and we're going to, and I'm going to lay this out first. This is actually, when we put this together, this 1/2 inch tab is going to go to the back. So this is going to form the front of my box. So that's what I'm going to position is I'm going to put this purple print. Again, remember it's part of that paper with all the little house scenes. So make sure you pick a part of this paper that you don't mind losing. And we're going to, this piece measures, let's see, it is, where am I at? It is 2 3/8 by 4 7/8. So it's going to go right here. Then we have another section right here. And this is gray on the back, but then it's got the white with like the petunia pop hatchings. And this is going to be, this piece measures, where are we at? The white and purple. It is 1 1/4 by 4 7/8. It's just going to go right down the middle, right here. Then what I did is I took one of the tags. Nathan's saying, go big or go home. Oh yeah, I know. Nathan loves Halloween. Nathan lives here in San Antonio with me, and he does. You have like quite a neighborhood thing, right, going on at your for Halloween, handing out candy, right? It's like he's shown pictures of lines, people coming by in his neighborhood. He's got a lot of trick-or-treaters. All right, so what I did is I cut out the tag from the designer series paper, just angled it so it looks like a tag, and it is going to get glued straight down. All I'm doing is I'm just adding some accent layers here. And then we're going to take some designer series paper. This is, again, the candy print. If you can't tell, the candy print is like one of my favorite from the paper pack. You're going to want 2 of these, and these each measure 1 3/8 by 4 7/8. So they're going to go right here on the sides. And then the last 2 pieces are going to be the gray print. And then these 2 are going to measure 1 3/8 by 2 3/8. So we're going to glue all these pieces down flat, and then we'll start decorating and adding our cute little elements. Most of these elements are coming from the laser cuts and the paper pack. Now, if you want and you have more designer series paper, of course, you could add a section to the back. I just left mine blank. Or if you want to put a piece of white cardstock on there and write a message, you have space to do that. All right, so make sure your little bats are flying the correct way. And glue them, which will form the sides of our box here when we're done. Oh my gosh, you get like 400 trick-or-treaters. Oh, I told you. You want to go to his house. Man, that is crazy. I know you and your family, y'all go all out. Is your neighborhood go all out also for for Halloween? I feel like they must to have that many trick-or-treaters. That's a lot. I'm going to add, let's glue the strip down the middle. And then do the tag. And this is actually going to go towards the bottom. That way it gives me plenty of room for my bats at the top. So let's say leave maybe about 1/2 inch at the bottom. Let's glue that flat. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take, and we have, this is a laser cut. You just pop it out from the designer series paper. We have our bottle, our little potion bottle. We have a label to go on our potion bottle. We've got our little princess kitty. And then I popped out 2 of the bats. Those are going to be flying at the top. And then what I did is I took from the Fright Night dies, I die cut out in basic black cardstock. I used a sticker sheet, and I die cut out a spider web. Now, if you got the project kit, you did have this pre-cut for you in your package. Let's see if I can pull this off. I don't really want to have to poke all those little things out. That's a lot to poke out. Sometimes, if I'm lucky, they'll stay on the sticker. And so most of them are. Cool. All right, I do have to. Ha ha. It did. Awesome. Okay, so let me move this out of the way. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take, because this is just a sticker, because I use that sticker sheet, and I am just going to adhere it right here in the upper left corner of my banner there. That's a little higher than I intended, but that's okay. We'll work with it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue on my spider label. I'm just going to glue it flat onto my potion bottle. And then I'm going to pop this set with dimensionals. And I am going to have it just right here. I'm going to have it go up just a little bit higher this time. Right to there. And then I'm going to have my little princess kitty. Now I am going to have part of her like kind of on the bottle, some of it hanging over. So her wing side, I'm going to add some dimensionals. And I just realized I didn't even put my box together. That's all right. We'll put it together here in a moment. All kind of works out the same. Now, because I want to stabilize the other side that's on the potion bottle, I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of liquid glue there. So I'm going to put her right here. And then I'm going to take some mini dimensionals and I'm going to add my bats. Actually, I think just one will do it. So I have one flying up here. Actually, I'm going to do two. I don't like that. It's too wobbly. So I'm going to put two. There we go. And I'm going to have the other bat flying up here. Let me go ahead and add another little dimensional. That one's just, I don't like how that turned out. Let's add two. Give it a little more stability. All right, now we're going ahead and we can put our box together. Normally I would have put it together before we started decorating, but that's okay. We can go ahead and put it together now. So to put it together, we're going to add a little bit of liquid glue or tear and tape on this 1/2 inch section. And then we're going to take, and I like to fold it flat, take my other side and just press down. And guys, I just realized it's after 3 o'clock. I am so sorry. I did not mean to be running late. It just, these projects can take a little bit of time, especially boxes. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take the tabs, we're going to fold them in, add a little bit of glue on each of them. And then I'm going to fold down the back panel because I already have glue on my tab, so it should hold. And then I'm going to take my front tab and I'm going to add glue on it and fold it back. I'm going to reach in here, my bone folder. And then what I'm going to do is, of course, you'd want to put your little treats inside. I'm going to take, and I got these bulldog clips. I buy them on Amazon. And so I'm just going to add the little clip there. A couple other things. I'm going to do stamping. I'm going to stamp my sentiment, which says Happy Halloween. And then I am going to bling up with the Petunia Pop little stars here. Just going to add a few right here. And this is really the only place that I'm going to add any of the bling right there. And then if you want, you can glue it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it And I'm just going to stick it right there. Now, if you want to stabilize it, you certainly can. I will usually, in that case, I'll just take a dimensional and I'll pop it right there. That way it stays in place when they remove it. All right, when they remove their clip. Now, the last thing we're going to do, and then we are done with this project, and then I promise I will share with you the next craft along projects. That is to bling up my clip with the bow. And again, we're going to do that double twine bow. Adhere it on with a mini glue dot. All right. There we go, guys. That is project number 4. So I'm going to go ahead, let's move that. And I'm going to bring out all 4 of the projects for you so you can see them all. And then I will share with you next month. All right. Sorry about the time. I didn't realize I had gone so much over. I was having such a good time crafting with you and chatting with you that I didn't realize that we were over so far. All right. So these are the 4 projects that we made for this month's craft along. Really cute, 4 nice size treat boxes. If you did not get the project kit from me, because it did include as part of your price, it did include the PDF tutorial. I do have the PDF tutorial available in my PDF store. All right, so let me go ahead. I'm going to move all these out of the way and let me show you next month's projects. I have found a new product that I love. Oh my gosh, it is so cool. So and it's not the stamp set necessarily. You may think it is, but I do love the stamp set, but there's something I love even more. And so next month's projects for the craft along are going to feature the beautiful pumpkins bundle. Really beautiful pumpkin stamp sets. It's 2-step stamping. You kind of layer one over the other, and then you've got your dies that coordinate. My favorite product of all this is these metallic texture rub-ons. I love these rub-ons, and they are so easy to use. I don't know if you grew up like me, what was it, maybe the 80s, and the craft stores, you would get those rub-ons and you would take like a popsicle stick and you would rub and rub and rub to try to get it, and then it still wouldn't clearly come off. These are so easy. So on Friday, I am going to share a project with you using the rub-ons and the beautiful pumpkins stamp bundle, just as an early project, give you another idea on how to use the bundle and to show you how to use the rub-ons. But I wanted to show you the cool, beautiful effect that those rub-ons have. So the craft along, it will be on Central Time. Beautiful, beautiful. Look at that, just beautiful little shimmer there. And then here you got some really beautiful sparkles. This is just a very, very simple, fun fold card. And then we're also we're going to make a cider pouch. And see, you got a little bit of that gold rub-on speckling in there. And then you're going to have a little cider's pouch. And I will include the cider pouch in your project packet. Now, just to give you a little bit of an idea. One, I was sharing with you about my PDF tutorials. Let me see, where did it go? So if you want to purchase the tutorial for the Halloween craft along that we did today, you can certainly do that. One of the things that I offer my team members, my Simply Sweet Stampers, is free access to all of my class tutorials. So they get a code each quarter that they can go into my PDF store, shop for whatever tutorials they want. There's no limit. They use that coupon code for the quarter, and then they get them all for free. So that is one of the perks that I offer to my team. And also, too, another perk is I like for my team to be able to enjoy a creative kit each month. And so what I do is I offer a team version of my craft along kits to my team. But when they join, and they join with me for the first time, I give them their first team make and take kit. That's what I call it, team make and take kit. They get the first one. The first time they join with me, they get that free make and take free. And so it gives them an idea of what a team make and take kit looks like, so that if they want to participate and do another one in the future, they have an idea of what one looks like. All right. And so this gives them an opportunity. They are so welcome to just enjoy a fun craft kit for their own personal use, or if they want to share Stampin' Up! With their friends, they have a ready-made class to be able to share and craft with their friends. All right, so guys, that is what I have to share with you today. Do not forget, let me flip back over. Tomorrow, October 1st, 2025, Stampin' Up! Is doing literally the most amazing starter kit promotion ever, okay? You can select $125. I know you can't see it very well, but $125 in product for $35. There is another option. For some people, it would be a good option for them. You can, or if you want, you can do the $99, pay $99, and you get $189 in products that you get to select. Do not miss out on this special. I'm not kidding you guys. This is the most amazing starter kit promotion Stampin' Up! Has ever done. And if you have any questions or if you want help getting your starter kit set up, I'm happy to help you do that. All right, guys, I will be back on Friday at 3 o'clock Central Time with another project to share with you. It's actually going to be featuring the beautiful pumpkins bundle, and I'm going to show you how to use those rub-ons. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you on Friday. Bye, guys.